things, it's Iain from RTO here. What a difference in weather. Lovely yesterday and, well, it's horrible. It looks like it's going to rain. Anyway, it's Ladies' Day. I can't believe we're the end of August. And today we've got two singers who are in sort of that same sort of genre. A few weeks ago we looked at the band Toyah. So today we're going to look at Toyah's solo career, and then later on we're going to look at my favourite Lena Lovitch songs. So Toyah Willcox, she fronted the band Toyah from 1977 to 83 and then launched her showcased theatrical solo career. She's collaborated with her husband, the legendary Mr. Robert Fripp, as well, and she has made 11 solo albums, some really experimental, some that I'm not particularly fans of, but on the whole she's made some decent albums as a solo artist, so we'll have a look at those 11 today. So coming in at number 11 from 1988 we have got Prostitute. Yes, it's very experimental, to say the least. So you've got Toyah on vocals, keyboards, guitars, Steve Sidelink on percussion. Robert Fripp does vocals on Hello. So the first track is subtitled Lie Down. And the first track is Hello. This is where Robert thinks it's a load of rubbish. He's just going hello and all that. It's rubbish. Prostitute, the title track, really strange. The beat does get better, but it's not, not one of the best tracks. Wife, it's disjointed, it's all over the place. I found it quite annoying at times. The Shore, one of the better tracks on here. I think Toyah's vocals are quite nice on that. It's pretty good. Dream House, it's got lots of talking on it. It's better than some of the musical tracks actually. Homecraft, I know she was good at acting, but this is just I just didn't get onto it. Obsession, I like this. It's the best track on the album. It's got some structure. So that was side 2 is called Think of England, and the first track is Let the Power Bleed. It's listenable, it's got some nice percussion on it. I'd say that's alright. Restless, again, one of the more listenable tracks on the album. Fall Into Earth, I quite like this one. It's got a nice gentle percussion. Jazz Singers in the Tree, it's too busy, there's so much going on, it's a little non-coherent. Vale of Evesham, a mixture of singing and spoken word. It's not too bad, I quite don't mind that. Ghost in the Universe, and then it's just gone very dancey. Now this album does feature a range of songs. I enjoyed 3 of the tracks but found the others less appealing, so I shall give that an RTO ranking of 2 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 10 is an album called Looking Back. It was released in 1995 and it's a collection of re-recordings from a back catalogue, mainly from the Toyah band days. So playing on here you've got Toyah Willcox on vocals, Tony Kelly on guitars, David Waddington guitar, Andy Knight keyboards, Bob Skeet bass, Andy Dewar drums, and additional vocals, Tacey Lynette. So you get I Wanna Be Free, Absolute, It's a Mystery, We Are, Thunder in the Mountains. Best track on here is the version of Good Morning Universe. Angel and Me, Be Proud, Be Loud, Be Heard, Danced, Rebel Run, Desire, and Iain, which is terrible. It's certainly better than Prostitute, but that's about it. I'm not a big fan of this one either. Why mend something that isn't broken? That's my motto, so I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 3 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 9. is the Acoustic Album, released in 1996, and it's a collection of acoustic recordings of a back catalogue. Same Lynette, same thing, so I think these albums were probably recorded at the same time. This opens up with, it's a great song anyway, but the acoustic version of it is really good, and that's The Vow. Best thing on here. So we've got Moonlight Dancing, Revive the World, I Wanna Be Free, a piano version of It's the Mystery, which isn't too bad, stripped down. Dance, Good Morning Universe, Blue Meanings isn't too bad. Jungles of Jupiter, It's a Mystery, which is a bit more up-tempo. Ia's not too bad, stripped down. Angels and Demons, I Am, Thunder in the Mountains, and then a string version of Mr. Mystery. Some of these do sound okay as acoustics, some of them don't, but it's not a terrible listen. It's just an interesting listen. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to give that one an RTO ranking of 5 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 8, we've got the 6th solo album from 1994, and it's called Dreamchild. We've got Toyah on vocals, of course, Paul Moran on keyboards and brass, Mike Bennett guitar and loops. We've got Tacey on additional vocals, Paul Minx on programming and keyboards, Jay Stapley on guitar, Bob Skeet on bass. Now and Then. It's not too bad. Quite a nice little opener. Then we have Let Me Go. I love the ambience on here. There's some really nice tones, and it's a very good vocal from Toyah on that. World of Tension. It's a bit dancey, but it's catchy. It's got a catchy hook to it. Then my favourite track on here is a lovely track called Out of the Blue. I love Toyah's vocal on this. It's got some really nice tones, and it's a very strong track. Unkind, a little bit too dancey for me. Dreamchild, the title track. It's a good track, but it does seem to go on. It doesn't seem to know when to end, but it is a decent track. Lost and Found, pretty solid, nothing wrong with that one. Over You, I like the Mystique sound on this. It is a really nice track. The drum machine program on it is pretty good as well. I Don't Know. Yeah, it's weak track. It's a little bit... The sequencing doesn't seem to fit. Disappear. I like this track. It's just a good solid track. And then we've got Tone Poem. It's a rather long track, but it's got an ambience to it, and I love some of the backing vocals. Not a bad track to end the album. It's a little bit dance orientated for me in places, but some of the sequencing and drums are a little bit off kilter for me and too fast. But there are some real ambient tracks on here as well. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 5.5. Okay, coming in at number 7, we've got the 2nd solo album from 1987, and it's called Desire. It's got Toyah, an uncredited guitar from Robert Fripp, loads of other people, and Ronnie Woods on here as well. First track is her cover version of Echo Beach, which I love. I think she did a great version of that, and it's the best track on the album. Moonlight Dancing, again, it's a pretty solid track, a fantastic vocal from Toyah on that one. Revive the World, the singing is a little bit dodgy on that. Yeah, The View, it's quite poppy for the time, but it's a fantastic vocal. Moon Migration, the second favourite track on this album. It's got an atmosphere, very good vocal. Love's Unkind, which is, of course, a Donna Summer track, and she does a pretty fair version of that. Dear Diary, it's got a synthesizer feel to it with a rock beat. It's not too bad, and it's got a guitar solo on that's pretty good as well. Deadly as a Woman, not too bad. It's average. It's not bad. It's not brilliant. It's okay. Goodbye Baby. It's a sort of one of them tracks. It's got little bits of old Toyah band and a new way forward. It isn't too bad. When a Woman Cries, I think the vocal on this is not very good. And then Desire, a song that she wrote with Robert Fripp, it's quite good. You know, it's got them quirks that we know of Robert Fripp, and it really works. Again, an album that does contain a variety of tracks. Some are notably stronger than the others, and then there are some more average ones. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 6.5. Okay, coming in at number 6, we've got the solo debut album from 1985, Minx. Toyah Wilcox on vocals, Iain Werry, Simon Darlow keyboards, Al Hodge on guitar, Peter Van Hook on the drums, Frank Ricotti percussion, and backing vocals, Alan Carvell, Chris Neal, Lorna Wright, Linda Taylor. So the first track is Soldier of Fortune, Terrorist of Love. Yeah, it's got that mid-80s sound, but it's not the best track. It's very 80s, smoothie, overproduced. Not the best track. Don't Fall in Love, I said. I think this is quite good. Even though it's a mid-80s 80s song, it's got a nice beat to it. There's nothing wrong with that one. Soul Passing Through. Nice pop song, actually. There's worse songs out at the time. Then she does a cover of Rare Bird's Sympathy. It's a really nice song. She does a really good version of it, but not as good as Rare Bird's, and certainly not as good as Marillion's, but it's a decent version. I'll Serve You Well. It's a sort of 1985 pop song. It's quirky. It's not cheesy, but it's got a good vocal. All in a Range reminds me of Thunder in the Mountains, so it's a pretty decent song. Space Between the Sounds, a typical sort of song at the time. It does sound rather dated now. And then a shocking version of School's Out. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. World in Action. It doesn't sound bad, but it does sound very dated now. Now, my favourite track on here is one of my favourite tracks off here, and it's even better than the original, and that's Latin Quarters, American for Beginners. This has got more ambience and more atmosphere than the original, and that's why it's my favourite track. Now, the solo album debut has got some catchy tunes. When it was released, it hasn't aged well, I don't think, but it is a decent pop record, although it feels dated, so I'm going to give that a 7 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 5 is a mini album called Velvet Lined Shell, and it was released in 2003. So you've got Toyah on here, vocals, Tin Assenberg on guitars, John Cotton keyboards, Anthony Bishop bass, and Alistair Hammer on drums. The opening track is Every Scar Has a Silver Lining. This goes back to the old days. It's got some real sort of post-punk, new wave, lots of guitar riffs. It's a good track. The title track, Velvet Lined Shell, melodic, ambient, the interesting vocal delivery from Toyah on that as well. Little Tears of Love, good track, second favourite on here. It's got an excellent guitar solo as well. You're a Miracle, probably the weakest track on here. It's a little bit oddball, that one is. Mother, a quirky little track with a great vocal from Toyah. It's very theatrical as well, but my favourite track is the last track, Troublesome Thing. It's got some nice guitar on it. It's got a fantastic vocal. It's a little bit different. I like the atmosphere. I think this is a really nice little mini LP. It's got some strong tracks on here, so I shall give that one an RTO ranking of 7.2. Okay, coming in at number 4, we got the fourth solo album from 1991, and it's called Ophelia's Shadow. Now, there hasn't much about it, but there's a rumour that there's members of King Crimson playing on here. At some stage, we've got Robert Fripp, Gordon Haskell, Keith Tippett, and Trey Gunn. So, Ophelia's Shadow, the title track. I love this. I love the vocal from Toyah. Strong, really good track. And then we got the Shaman Says. I love the guitars on it. It's got a real theatrical feel to it. Very good track. Brilliant Day. A fine delivery on the vocals. The arrangement is really good as well. Prospect, my favourite track on here. It's old style sound, but it's got a fantastic vocal. Turning Tide, atmospheric. It sounds like some of the stuff Peter Gabriel was doing at the time as well. It really is, and there's some nice guitar touches on that as well. Take What You Will. It's got some great guitar on this. Sounds like Robert Fripp, actually. It's a wonderful bit of guitar work on that. Homeward Found, good vocal, funny in places. Quite a serious song, but it has got a bit of humour. Lords of the Never Known. I love the drumming on this. It's crisp. And that was the last track. I think it is a really good album, apart from one track which I find very less compelling to the others. It's ambient and atmospheric, and it's a really engaging album, so I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 7.4. Take the Leap is at number 3. It was a 5th album, and it came out in 1993. It consists of new tracks and some more re-recordings of older songs. So it's Toyah on vocals, Paul Beavis on drums, Jolene Dixon on rhythm and lead guitars, Paul Luther rhythm guitars, John Wakefield bass, and Stuart Ross additional drums. First track is called Now I'm Running. One of the best tracks on the album. It's a fine vocal, really stunning track. My favourite track on here is Lust for Love. This is right out the old style Toyah. Brilliant and a great vocal. Invisible Song, second favourite track on here. Fantastic vocal. It's got some lovely guitar work as well. Name of Love, another solid track. Excellent guitar work. Really good arrangement. Co-wrote with Nick Beggs of Kajagoogoo. Really is good. Winter in Wonderland. This is really nice. It's melodic. It's got atmosphere on it. I do like that track. God Ceases to Dream. Nice vocal, not a bad track. Now then they do a re-recorded of Iain. Not as good as the original. Much better than that other re-recorded. It's got a little bit more depth. That's not too bad. And then we've got Waiting. Love the bass line on this. Absolutely solid track. Then one of the other re-recorded tracks is Neon Womb. I love the original. This has got a little bit more depth, and I like it as much as I do like the original. Elusive Stranger. It's a really good track. It's got some nice guitar riffs. Our Movie, good short little track, got a great bass line, some terrific riffs on there. Then we have got Thunder in the Mountains, not as good as the original, but it is much better than the other re-recording they did. Oh, One Number 3, this is more of a guitar version, and I quite like it. It's more about the guitar riffs. It's not a bad. And then It's a Mystery. Now this is a more melodic version, and it worked, and I do quite like that. That was the last track. Now the original tracks are of good quality and feature some great guitar work. The revisited versions present clear improvements compared to looking back, and it's a renewed take on these songs. Overall, the album I thought provided a refreshed and perspective on the material. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, coming in at number 2 is, I think it's the most current album, and it came out in 2021, and it's called Posh Pop. So it's Toyah on the vocals, Bobby Wilcox guitar, Simon Darlow guitar, bass, cello and keyboards, Jeremy Stacey on the drums, and Alfie Darlow drums as well. The first track is a really good track. It's called Levitate. And it's got a great guitar solo, great vocal from Toyah. It's got a really good sound. Then we have Zoom Zoom. Very catchy tune, some great guitar work, and a really strong vocal from Toyah on that. The Bride Will Return, all very well put together, some great riffs, fine vocal, great bass line, brilliant guitar solo on it as well. Space Dance, a very good track. The riffs are on this, they're fantastic. It's gritty and it's a great vocal. Barefoot on Mars, it's a lovely melodic track. Simple but very nice. Rhythm in the House, very catchy. Some nice tones on that one as well. Summer of Love, love the acoustic guitar at the beginning. It gives it atmosphere and it just builds up to a really good beat. Monkeys, probably my favourite track on here. It's got a brilliant bass line that sort of grooves through the track. And then we get Kill the Rage, ambient, the richness at the beginning on the guitars, the ambience, and it flows through that ambience through the whole track. Take Me Home. To be quite honest, I'm looking at it when I sort of put this together. I think this is the best track. That's just the one I will be putting in the playlist, I think. It's stunning, dynamic vocal, brilliant guitar solo, a great track to end the album. Brilliant album. It shows that she's still relevant in music. You know, it's remarkable how she's changes the sound and still comes up with some excellent stuff. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.6. But my number one album came out in 2008, and it's called In the Court of the Crimson Queen. A reference to King Crimson's debut album, of course, and I think Toyah's husband thought, yeah, we'll do that. And it was her first full-length album of new material since 1994. So Toyah's on here. Simon Darlow plays all the instruments. Alfie Darlow plays some drums as well. First track is called Sensational. What a great opening track. The bass line is brilliant. Catchy tune and a great vocal. Then we've got Latex Messiah, Viva La Rebel in You. Great vocal from Toyah from start to finish. Great bass line in that one as well. Heal Ourselves. Some great drumming on here. I think it's Alfie Darlow. Really drives the song along. Lesser God, a fantastic song. I love this. It's a ballad. Her voice is brilliant. It's an outstanding track. One of my favourite songs that she's ever sung. Angel in You, one of the rocky ones on. Another of my favourites. Great guitar solo on that one. Love Crazy. Certainly harks back to the days of that new wave sound. Some of the keyboard work is very good. Excellent track. Bad Moon, catchy. Love the keyboard runs in that. It's really good. Hyperventilate. Now this reminds me of a very modern day sort of Ziggy Stardust style track. The acoustic at the beginning, it's a fantastic song. Come. Very good pop song. Catchy tune. Hooks. Great vocal. And then the last track is Legacy, another of my favourites on this album. I love the acoustic guitars, the atmospherics on this, a fine vocal and a great track to end this album. I would say this is probably one of the best albums Toyah made in years. I compare it to the Blue Meaning and Anthem. Every track on here is good. Her vocals are strong. Production is excellent. That's why it's my number one choice. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. So there we go. Toyah Willcox's solo albums. As I said, some really strong albums in there. Okay, coming up next is Retro Ranking. I'm going to pick my favourite songs by the wonderful Lena Lovitch. So join me for that. Bye for now.